Welcome in everyone to the first ever game of SewnangelSeason. I'm very excited to get into this with you. My God, so much work has gone into this, and we're hitting you straight away with a new tournament format. So, if you are around, you will know that this is called the Budget Battle. This tournament all relies on pre-game strategy, as now, instead of seeing the normal full comp builds, we'll be seeing half-baked builds in favor of one or two game-changing tactics in strong builds for just maybe one or two survivors. So it comes down to the pre-game strategy. Every team will decide, do we want specific strong perks or general team viability? It's the question of, do you want to take Deliverance, or do you want to take 3 weaker perks instead that might make a different game-changing decision later? Is it that important that you get that for the people, or are you able to sacrifice it for lesser perks later on in the game? But regardless, we've already taken the first hit on Zin, and I should introduce my co-caster, Spoker. Spoker, what games are we going to be seeing tonight?
Oh, that was main building moment, but we have a lot of stuff in store for tonight. Where we're starting off with the Lich Undead Dawg Saloon, which I'm really excited to see. I feel like I don't really get to see a lot of Lich all that much, so I'm really liking Bravo's mechanics right now, doing really well starting off. But we do have Doctor on Wretched shop as the second set for this first matchup between Flatline and Severance, and the Tiebreaker set is going to be unknown on Ormand Lake Mine if we get to it. So a lot of interesting stuff in store, and that's just the first matchup for tonight. We still have another matchup in game 2 as well that we can talk about a bit later, but for now we've got our first hook on the board. Bravo in a pretty okay spot, setting up main building and getting ready for later on in the trial, as we don't really have a gen to show for it just yet. The pressure has been really good.
Sorry. Yeah, so as you said before, we had a very quick down onto Zin at the start there, and unfortunately it's just one of those moments where we have quite a bad read on the main building, and it looks like we almost had it again as well, but Zin able to slide away from this one. Hopefully we're able to redeem ourselves a little bit here.
Nice.
We do have a little bit of support from our teammate giving us head-on value. I actually didn't even see who that was, but Zin will be zooming along here, does dodge the Lich power, and we'll be able to make it all the way around main, and we're going for a little hit there as well as we make our way into our flight mode to try and close ground. And God, we do a very good job of it, as we are right behind Zin, and we will be seeing the down on second. Not as bad as that first one, but unfortunately, gens are still going a little bit slowly in the background. Might get it down to 1 or 2 by the end of Zin's hook here. But we're going to need to have a pretty good third chase to try and change the game mechanics. And at this point, I would really love to see what the survivor builds are, because I think I want to see some of that budget battle action. So we've had, wow, we have a full build on links. Wow, we have a couple of full builds as well, actually. Here we go, we have our first 1, 2, 3, 4. I can see why that build's a little bit less built. And we have our head-on triangle, quick and quiet, a very good combo there. So these are actually quite steady builds. I'm interested to see how much value we put into different sets, because this is quite a stacked survivor build for our survivor team. So I'm interested to see how they're able to convert that into a good set win here.
Yeah, no, really nice play at the main building though here, denying the window vault with the fly. Everything is in Zin's hands right now. Like, Zin has to have like the most insane chase right here to set up the game later on, because as soon as this goes to 3v1, the eruption, the pain res, and all of that is going to be coming into play. Check your around to make sure no one's coming for a potential pallet save here. There's just nothing that can be done here. It's unfortunate, but Zin did have a really good second chase and a decent enough third chase that 2 gens are going to get done because of it, and Bravo is going to have to go into the 3v1 with still 2 gens remaining, but not that much progress on the board. Unless he can stop, no, just doesn't make it to the gen in time. Claude will be popping it and getting away scot-free with the tag to the main building. And a 4th gen had progress. I didn't even realize. This is so much better for our survivors here. Holy.
Yeah, it looks like we're putting our skates on as we move further into the game here and try 3v1. Ruthless Gem is going to take a relatively quick down here, as we're seeing a lot of downs on the main side. We've really over prioritized main here, as I think we still have that gen up there as well. So we are pushing ourselves quite deep into this 3v1, but 1 gen left, and we are pushing the double, so it doesn't matter how fast we take the down. because we've made some very good progress, and the assumption that they're on 9 isn't correct. But we will be heading to the right gen. This is going to cause some concern from Bravo, as we have caused a significant amount of progress on this generator. But, oh wow, Lynx is, I didn't even see him there.
Yeah, on the backside of Chuck, I think, rotating around, got caught by a stray by one of the skellies. It's really unfortunate, but also really funny at the same time. I'm sorry to say it, but Bravo's very happy about that. Now, this is like a really good spot here. Bravo has like a very advantageous position on the final gen and on the hook as well. So just going back and forth, playing for info, knowing that Fly is going to be up like soon enough to be able to just go back for the hook and even get a slug on Lynx here to make sure that this gen doesn't pop while he goes for that. Or he could just go for a fresh hook here and take more progress on the last gen, because it is quite close. And honestly, that's probably the much smarter thing to do, because we do see a pain res hook right by the water tower. But yeah, no, this is good. The game's really gonna have to slow down from this point on. The resets need to happen, and our survivors here need to, you know, play it a lot slower to be able to progress and not allow any more pain res or anything like that. But the resets are gonna be slower through sloppy, so we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, on top of that as well, I think we have to face the truth that hit by Lynx was a huge blunder for the Survivor team. That is definitely not what you want to see. It does come down to that game awareness of where the current chase is, and we do need to be aware that even though we might not be the main chasee, we still can get hit by these Lich powers, and that was a perfect example of why you always need to be vigilant. Lynx is able to get a, actually takes the BT hit there, and will be able to survive a little bit longer. So making up for a little bit for that first hit, and wins the sneaky little getaway there. Is able to buy some time. We do take the down on the outer main pallet, but we are able to convert that into an extra couple of seconds, as we do hear Survivor team pumping the main gen, and this has got at least 2 rotations going.
Yeah, now that there's a lot of pressure, they didn't even go for the resets at all. They were just going for gen progress, which is honestly probably the smarter thing to do. And yeah, I think this is a Ruthless Gem here at the main building who was working and is now just trying to take the chase as far away from the gens as possible, or keep it at main. I don't remember who our head-on player was, but I think, yeah, we get the last gen done from the other side, and keeping Lynx slugged, this just hasn't been enough pressure for Bravo to stop that from getting done. But Ruthless is just going to have a banger chase at main, allow the pickup to happen, and maybe a 2-out. Ooh, that would have been nice, but unfortunately not.
Yeah, I'm hoping we're going to see a very early pressure on the gate here by Lynx, and it looks like that was what the original idea was. We don't make it. Oh, Lynx almost running straight into the killer. We do have a resource here, though, that we are able to drop down, and we go straight into the locker as well. This is the play in this scenario. Force the pickup. We do this. See the reset occurring in the background. We actually see a full reset starting to occur, but we are going to see the power come through. We're going to see our killer instinct very soon. Do we finish the reset? We do not. Ruthless Gen able to get away from the bottom here. We're going to see the split from the survivors. But this is starting to look like a very awkward situation. If Ruthless Gem gives a quick down, this could be all game over on a 4K0. And it looks like that might be the play. We're going to see the unhook Lynx on second in the background. Potato Savage worth a huge amount of points here in Ruthless Gem on the ground. There is a lot of action happening right now, and it all comes down to how quickly we can push this gate. I'm hoping that Lynx is on it. We are. And now we're going to see Potato Savage most likely rotate again, but Lynx has got to have a decent chase here to push for the win.
Yeah, and honestly, the best thing going for our survivors here now is the fact that Potato Savage is our survivor who's worth the most. Oh, playing 50s at the water tower, not quite being able to get it done, but the pickup does happen. Lynx has done their job perfectly, as Bravo now has to go all the way back and continue this game of just going back and forth, slugging, with Potato Savage picking up the slugs and just doing everything to not get found. So it's kind of tough for the survivors right now, but Potato Savage is already on the case, mate. He's already at the slug ready to pick up Lynx, and I like this a lot because Ruthless is going to be able to immediately get on the door at main. Excuse me, sorry. And yeah, Lynx is just going to be here to play with Potato Savage to get him back to main. That tag should be enough to get him there. It's a bit of a distance to travel, but Bravo is using the fly immediately. He's going to have to try and zone him away from main, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. We're just going to have to delay this tag. The door gets opened at main, and if they have to, Ruthless is probably going to come in and take the down as well for Potato to get out, but no fly up is just going to make it impossible to stop Potato from getting out. He has to dodge the Skellies. No dramas at all. He's out, and that is a 4 stages out the door. So that would be 8 stages for our kill here with 2 eliminations. Honestly, a really good first game. It really looks like it could have gone either way, but I would say this is a I wouldn't know what the average result is for Lich on Dead Dog Saloon, but it's an 8 stage is kind of like, look, you're not like upset about it, but you're not like over the moon, you know? It's just a sort of average kind of middle ground kind of result. And yeah, it's a very clear set in stone win con for the next half of this first set. Ain't that right, Stasi?
Well, for the first game of the budget battle, that was pretty good, man. I think we had a great showing from Ruthless, Gem, and Potato there. We're playing extremely well, pretty much throughout the whole game. A bit of a rough game for Lynx and Zin, especially Zin's first and third chase were not quite what you were looking for, but regardless, we had a pretty decent result from our Survivor team, so hopefully we're able to convert that into a good killer win con. But we will be right back with you as we're going to swap sides for the next half of the set.
All right, legends, welcome back to the second half of this first set where we just saw Flatline on the Lich getting 7 stages with 3 fresh. We're now going to be seeing Severance on the Killer, and obviously we're going to see Bravo getting tunneled out for playing Killer in the first half, right? That's what's going to be happening here. Interesting spawn, though. I'm not too familiar with spawn mechanics depending on like what offerings are brought and stuff, but I feel like a main spawn is not really that common, but this corrupt is pretty okay for what Lynx wants to get done, and the survivors have a very telegraphed place to take the first chase, and it is indeed Bravo who is going to be getting caught out here first, and Lynx is going to be getting some payback from the first half, I would assume. So playing the TNLs here should be able to get through scot-free here. Bravo is definitely on track to have a really good first chase, but Ruin is getting revealed here as we take the chase over towards main here onto Saki. And I should be able to make it around. Oh, that was a nice hit.
Yeah, it looks like we do get a relatively early first hit. Very similar to last game. And a great read by Saki. Doesn't actually drop Shack Pallet. Sees the dodge coming in from Lynx. Is going to buy some extra time. Possibly trading that for an extra resource. But some really good reads from Saki here. Gets the hit as well, as we're going to take the pallet there at 8, and that is going to be a very strong start for our survivor here. Doesn't actually take the chase towards main as we're so accustomed to seeing. Instead, going to be taking the chase towards corner 8 to take the down. So that was a really strong start. Only used 1 pallet from what I remember, and that's just a great start to the game. We're going to get 2 gens for it, possibly 1. No, we are probably going to get 2 here. So a very strong start from Saki, able to convert very few resources into a really long chase.
Yeah, well, there is a reason that Flatline picked this set, or this killer specifically, but you know, 2 gens getting done for the first hook is perfect. And with the build that we're seeing from Lynx being very much different to what we saw our first killer bring, with like Ruin, Penty, as opposed to having Eruption, it's going to be a lot more difficult for Lynx in the 3v1 to have as much regression as we saw in the last game. It's really just Ruin has to put in a lot of work earlier on. Otherwise, it's, you know, not really going to be doing that well. But we do get some info into Bravo at the water tower again, knowing that he's going to be working around there. Still have a lot of pressure on another gen as well. I think our survivors are sort of understanding the fact that Lynx is just forcing a stage here, and they're going to take gen progress for it. But I'm curious to see if someone is set up for this, and maybe a 1-for-1 before the second, but Lynx is doing everything to avoid that. We do have Burrito setting up for it, about to send it in. Lynx has to just body block it. or try and get a 2-tap with the Skeletons, but it's too close. You can't do it. It's still an unhook before the second stage. We get the instant tag onto Saki though, which is exactly what we needed. Gonna be able to make it to this pallet, but we still have Shack Pallet to work with as well. So yeah, we're just gonna send it to there. It's gonna force the grab there. We'll make the window. And wow, Saki's in a really good spot. Can go from chat to main, and could have someone with head on set up as well, while Max is doing the gens in the background here for the hit tank as well. Beautiful plays here by Burrito and Saki. This is going to be really tough for Lynx if we don't get a quick down. And honestly, it just has to be on either Burrito or Saki. We're going to see him swapping over to Burrito here to play for the pain res and then play for stages, but that pallet stun is so crucial.
Yeah, unfortunately, damn it. But we are seeing a huge misplay here from Lynx. At this point, it doesn't really matter which chase you're committing to, because we know that the win con's 8 stages, right? We don't need to kill everyone. That's absolutely fine. We have a little bit of leeway. But we had quite a strong win concept by our survivors, and Lynx isn't really able to follow through just yet. Does get some Scourge Hook regression, which is finally on the right track to what we needed. Bravo doesn't have really much progress on that generator though, but we did hear a female scream in the background, so it must have been someone else. Max starting one in the background as well. So we do have 1 generator remaining, and we still need 6 hood states, so we are quite far. And that second chase on Saki, I thought the down would have come a lot earlier. I know we eventually converted to Burrito and did get the down, but I really expected Saki to actually get down before they got to Shack, but it looks like we cancelled our Lich pickup power and then moved instead into nothing, which allowed Saki to make the Shack pallet there. So very fortunate for our Nancy here, but as we revert to now, we will be taking that first hit and heading back towards the direction where Bravo was. The question is, are we going to be able to find someone? And the answer is no. We don't find any survivors hiding around here. We're going to be doing some scouting with our power and looking towards 8, as we do find Max on the gen that is about 60. So this is a good one to find. We do have Ruin, which will give us some value. Hopefully we can start getting some good chase value here, because we are starting to struggle.
And the really important thing here as well is that Saki had such a good chase in this part of the map that there's still so many resources for the rest of the team to be able to use here. So Max should have a pretty decent chase here. Just has to win a 50. Oh, I didn't realize that's not even a 50. The vault animation locks you into place, and yeah, Lynx gets the tag, sorry. But yeah, oh, going for some audacious stuff here at the wagon pallet. Pre-dropper Shack is fine. We're going to be able to get to either main or as far away from that gen as possible, so that someone else can do it. And we have Burrito here once again for a hit tank if needs be, but it looks like that Max should just be able to make it to the edge here. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that you can still body block the killer and still get the pallet drop before they can swing, right? I don't know if they changed that recently, but I remember hearing about changes just pressuring off the pallet save. And Burrito actually makes it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Burrito, you got cooked like a burger. As we're gonna miss that. We're gonna miss that very free pallet save there. Yeah, not really what you want to see, but I don't really think it matters. We are very far ahead at this point in the game. If we saw Lynx pull this back, I would be extremely surprised. The survivors would really have to flop hard here, and I just don't see that happening with how consistently well they've been playing. Saki could just take the hit here and go towards corner, die, and the other 3 would be out, so it'd be absolutely fine. But we're going to try and get a decent chase here, as Saki is able to win a couple of predetermined vaults and get ourselves into a good position. That gate must be powering along, and as it does open in the background, and we see the reset onto Max. I assume we're going to see a couple of hit takes coming in soon, as Saki is going to try and screen themselves around main, and if we can zone ourselves into the correct position, we are confirmed out, and we are making our way towards this gate very fast. And yeah, no, we're definitely going to make that now. We would have to take a hit and get a very unlucky fly.
Yeah, no, this is very clearly Flatline was going to be taking this set here, which is funny because, like, you normally always see people winning on their offsets, but this was just very much so in Flatline's favor. They played that really well, and I don't think Lynx sort of had the same kind of Well, not so much energy, but like just the same momentum going into the trial as Bravo did in the first half of this set. So that's the first set point to Flatline as we move into our second set, which is going to be the Herman Carter, the Doctor, on the Wretched shop. Now, hopefully the filters look good and we're all good with that. But I'm really excited for this. I'm really looking forward to see some Doc Wretched shop, a very traditional, very classic set to be seeing. So we're going to get that set up for you and we'll catch you right after a quick break.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second set of tonight. We are back in our inaugural season, the Budget Battle. Now, we have seen a pretty good set take place so far. We did see the Lich come through, and that was a very successful win by Flatline. But we will be going into the second set. This is going to be Severance's pick as a Doctor. We are going to be going down to D tier, so we're going to be seeing some pretty mid perks, but hopefully we're able to convert this into a strong win as we see Potato Savage, a very, very renowned Doctor. So a little bit worried for our survivors. We are on the ropes here. We need to come back to force the 1-to-1. But will we be able to find an early chase? Saw the shout onto Bravo, and we will as we find chase number 1.
And also, just as we go into this set as well, because Stasi is trolling and needs to lock in, we do apologize for the delay. We had some technical issues that should be resolved now. So if anything goes wrong, we'll sort it out, don't worry. But the games are still happening. Everything is on and a go. I love you, by the way, Stasi. I just wanted to have it, you know.
Fuck you, bitch.
Whoa, language. But anyway, we're going to be taking this first chase on Bravo. We get that first down nice and quick, which is really, really good for Potato Savage. We're going to be able to hook in a really advantageous position. And honestly, I'm really surprised at seeing a lot of people bring Ruin and Penty. Like, I'm very curious to see like how quickly the Ruin totem goes. Because obviously on like Autohaven maps, totems are very easy to find. So I would be expecting to see Ruin getting cleansed at some point, but we have everyone 3-split on gens, which does kind of concern me a little bit because it's probably not the best position. We're getting another like quick chase onto Saki here, but someone then has to rotate for the save, and we've just lost all of that time that you're going to be spending going over for the save and all that, unless the Ruin gets cleansed. Tag onto Saki as we continue on the chase, actually. Interesting.
Looks like we are going to be committing to this one, and we're in a pretty strong position to do so. Taking the chase up to the 11 corner of the map here. We are going to be pushing for a very quick down. It looks like that is what we're going to be seeing. Saki trying to cut these corners very tightly. Doesn't matter though, because Potato is right on top of us, and we do take a relatively quick down there. All things considered, Bravo on tier 3 in the background. Still on tier 3, we might be trying to see the reset in the background soon, or the reset for power, should I say, as we're going to be pushing ourselves towards the mid-map to see if we can get a good shout. No, we can't. Bravo too far away here. We're hoping to follow this up with a quick chase, but the survivors doing quite a good job of stealthing us here. And we see Saki does get off in the background, so we are back to all 4 survivors moving. Max going to be trying to get the reset. Does not work though, as the Doctor comes straight for us. We're most likely going to be seeing a hit take come through soon, but we got to push this chase all the way up to the top side of the map. Both survivors will be right at the top. Our first hit onto Max doesn't occur. Saki trying to head to the south side. Unfortunately though, damn it, this is going to put us into a very, very awkward position as we are forced towards the mid-map, getting zoned into nothing.
And we're also taking chase over to where the totem is, but Burrito's here for a hit tank at the perfect time to allow that chase to make it to Shaq. So very well coordinated from our survivors here. But it's still looking pretty tough. Potato Savage has a lot of pressure in this early game, and it's looking like it's going to be a really, really tough game to bring back. But the only really good thing that we have going for our survivors here for Flatline is the fact that there's only 2 hooks on the board, and they're both fresh hooks. There's no clear, determined tunnel out here, which, you know, obviously Saki's the one getting tunneled out here, forcing Locker, buying some time, and that's perfectly done. This might be... No, not even a basement hook. I'm kind of surprised that Potato Savage isn't going for the basement here. Is instead going to try and hook closer to active gens, I would imagine. So, very interesting to see. But are we going to be getting any gens for that? I don't think so. I think our survivors are still sort of forced in that rat race of having to get to a certain part on the map, get resets out, get gen progress at certain spots, and Ruin still being in play is just absolutely doing work on these gens.
Yeah, Flatline having a very strong performance so far. Playing in OSL earlier in Academy season, they were actually able to go 3-0 in their group stage, and they're showing why they could do that here. They had a very strong showing. Unfortunately, they didn't. Damn it, I keep on saying unfortunately. They weren't able to convert that into a Div 1 acceptance because they actually got shut down in quarterfinals. So I think it was fair. So it's a bit of a rough one to see, but they're really showing a good performance here. They're definitely a strong mid-level team at the moment. They seem to have a couple of weak spots, but overall they are just playing very, very well, and I think Potato Savage is doing a lot of the work for that. We all know Potato Savage's Doctor, pretty well known, pretty consistently good, quite a well-known console player as well. Able to really come through here for the team and set a good win con. Even if we slack off a bit here, we're still going to have a good game. But wow, we get the stun there. Very, very close.
Yeah, no, that could have been it right there for Saki, but we'll live to see another trial for a bit longer. We do have some decent pallets that we can use here, but we're going to just have to take the distance here and try and make this the pallet gym. This is our tunnel out on Saki here, so definitely things getting very dire here as we have no one coming for the hit tank. Sorry, it's just going to have to be a potential pallet save, which I don't think there's going to be anyone positioned for this. Never mind. Oh my goodness, that's Burrito getting the pallet save, actually hitting it this time. Nice. We've redeemed ourselves from the last set. Very good stuff. This will allow Saki to maybe get back to this other filler from before and just buy a bit more time. Sort of faking out, camping the pallet, wrapping around. We'll be able to make it around. Doesn't drop the pallet. Good discipline. It's going to be able to last a little bit longer here. The shock comes out. We should be able to make it. No, not quite. We're going to have to just pressure another pallet. Insta-picking again, though. Potato's just sending it. And yeah, it pays off. Burrito wasn't there in time to get the second pallet save, and a really risky play by Potato, and it actually works out. And we're in 3v1 already.
Yeah, and we're seeing the budget battle really kick in there. A couple of builds there only have 2 or 3 perks, so we're definitely seeing a lot of thought put into these C sets rather than the D, which is entirely fair. A lot of the D perks are going to make a huge difference, but yeah, Potato was it's kind of destroying this game. It's a pretty rough one for our survivors. We do have a second gen done in the background, but we had 2 survivors injured. Oh, that is very that's rough. You don't want to see that. But Bravo giving the first very quick hit there. 3 survivors injured. 3 gens still need to be done. And Burrito is caught out in a very derisive spot here. This is not where you want to be, shoved into the corner of the map. We're able to break away ever so slightly, but we don't get nearly as much room as we want here. Push towards another pretty mid pallet as well. I think Potato Savage is just happy to play around this until we get the down, but no, we're going to be forcing the break instead, and Burrito is able to step away there as Potato wants to avoid giving the survivors a 3rd generator here. If we can get a 4K3 on Doctor, that is all going to assure our win con here, because we are setting ourselves up for an insanely good flip over on the set.
Yeah, no, this is exactly what Severance needed as payback from that first set, to be able to hopefully secure a set point very early on here to allow the tiebreaker to happen. Is going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. Oi, juked at the locker. Unlucky. Oh, okay, well played by Bravo. But we'll be able to buy a couple more seconds before the hook comes through. But this is going to be... I don't think we used pain res on Bravo yet. We still have... No, we have the last pain res on Max. So we don't have pain res there. So we should be seeing the 3rd jet getting done for that. But it's still a very overempowering position for Potato Savage.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'd be shocked to see a 4K1. I think that there's definitely an opportunity for it, but I think it's going to be pretty unlikely at this point, especially with a very quick down coming in from Max here. We do see that gen that's just on the side of our vision there. It's actually quite close to being done, so there might have been a bit more gen progress than I was aware of, but I just find it very, very unlikely that Burrito is going to be able to turn this around, especially as we see the static blast coming through. We are trying to lock in on Burrito's position. We do see a crow flying down there. Burrito at the corner of the map is hiding right in the background. We do see the static blast does come off there. Does not give us any information, and we are able to head towards mid here as we do kind of screen in the middle. Max back up here is able to push this game a little bit longer. I don't know whether we're really going to get too much value from this, but we have to at least try. There is one chase standing between the completed gen, so it definitely could happen. But we find Max in a very awkward spot here.
Yeah, no, I only just barely heard that as well, and Potato Savage was immediately on the case, turning around, getting the shock out. Really, really well played here. Not a nice palette to be playing here, but wins a 50. Let's see how many 50s we can win at this this edge map filler. There we go. That's another. Forcing the break. Zoning to... honestly, we're not even going to be committing here. We're just going to be going for Burrito to stop that gen from getting done. It's actually really, really close. Our survivors could make this 4K1 if they play their cards right. It is a 2v1. It's going to be very difficult, but there is a chance. But the problem is Max is in tier 3 right now, so... Potato's just going to commit to this chase. As soon as the tier 3 is gone, oh, even better, we managed to get the down. We can go back, slug Max, but no, we're going to pick because Max is still tier 3. Is there going to be enough time to get it done? Oh no, because Pain res. Oh my goodness, he's so smart. And that's going to be 4K too. Wait, that wasn't a Scourge Hook?
No, because Max is the fresh hook, so we've got one Scourge Hook left, and it's down to Max, but
oh, I thought Max was
it
getting
does
hooked.
not matter.
Oops. Good comes, good comes. Oh, and there we go, 4K2. What a result. Thank you for that correction, by the way, Stasi. I apologize for stealing your spotlight, but what an insane game by Potato, man. That is crazy. Severance is definitely going to be really happy with this, and 4K3 having to be the win con with the builds already pre-locked in. Like, there's no changes that can happen to the perks here, so our killer for Team Flatline just has to rock with what they've got. So, yeah, I'll hand it back to you, Stasi.
Yeah, I think it's pretty open and shut case. It was not really one big thing that ruined it for the survivors. I think it was kind of just a death from a thousand cuts situation where it was just a rough chase after rough chase and couldn't really convert any strong leads into any gen progress. And, you know, we were almost at that 4K1, but even then, that's still a pretty average situation to be in. But we will be going into the next half of the set, as we'll see Flatline swap to Survivor.
All right, legends, welcome back to the second half of the second set, where our killer for Team Flatline needs a 4K3 in order to win this set. So obviously it is going to be a very monumental and difficult task for Flatline to be able to get a 2-0 here. So we're very likely going to be seeing a unknown on Ormand Lake Mine Tiebreaker as we load into this try with Bravo taking the reins for Team Flatline. Our Severance survivors are going to be absolutely locked in here because all they have to do is pop 4 gens and they win the set. So, yeah.
Yeah, even the worst case scenario here is we pop 3 and we still go to TB. So we're in a pretty strong position here for our survivors. Potato Savage setting us a very, very good win con. And I got the teams completely mixed up last game. For some reason, I thought Potato was on Flatline. I was completely wrong. That is not the case. He's on Severance. So my bad, Severance. But we are going to be seeing the first chase of the game here. Ruthless Gen.
Wow.
Gillock giving a very, very quick hit. Loses the 50 there. But is able to make his way into the mid-map, so we'll be able to find some resources here to play around with as we make our way down towards Shack as well, and we're making crazy distance here. Possibly a quick down coming through, though, as we see a Ruthless Gem basically just guns it to the other side of the map. Doesn't really get any value out of that chase. If you want to start as the killer for a very, very rough win con, this is exactly the start you want. No resources used, but a very, very quick first chase.
No, 100%. And no ruin this time. We're going a little bit more, I guess I would say traditional, where we got sloppy and eruption instead of ruin or other hexes. Just going for consistency as opposed to, you know, just the whole caveat of bringing hex builds. So Chase is going to be at Shack this time, as we still have 2 people split on gens to at least... or we need to get to 3 gens for it to be Tycon, but getting those first 2 gens out of the way as early as possible is going to be very important for our survivors here, as Potato is going to be able to take the chase over to the side of Shaq, where there's a really nice filler, but doesn't quite make it to the window and still gives the tag. Unhook does happen though, which is really good. Bravo can't force an early second stage and force an early 3v1, and is kind of just has to go back to commit to the chase onto Ruthless and get a tunnel out, because the only way Bravo's ever really going to be able to get this win con is to get a down on Ruthless in the heart of all of these active gens, right? So just going for the cutoff and actually manages to cut them off, wrapping around the back of main. This is really, really good for Bravo, actually. There's a lot of gen progress on the board, so we'd have to really get some value out of, like, oh, we don't have Eruption pre-placed, but just nice quick down. Not quite does make it over the pallet. That's really, really unfortunate. But with this, I think Ruthless is going to... Oh, we lose a 50 at the pallet there, and that's going to be the second stage as the first 2 gens get done. Still, it's still a winnable situation for Bravo, but it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, we'd have to get unbelievably lucky here. The survivors have so many options for the win here, or should I say the draw, but more than likely the win. Ruthless Gem on second, Potato down 1 hit, but we still have a lot of options for the win here from our survivors. The gens are relatively spread out in a fashion where we can force the 4K1. Ruthless Gem is in a pretty awkward spot here. We do have a 3 gen down near the Shack side of the map, so trying to play around that is going to be our main competition. But Ruthless Gem, 40 seconds left on the hook. We do see Zin working on the gen in the background and a reset coming from Lynx onto Potato Savage. So playing a little bit slowly now, forcing our way towards the 4K1, and honestly, there is a small chance that we could see a tie here. I think we're definitely going to see that first gen get done, so we'll get down to 2 with the pressure from Zin in the background. Hopefully we'll see some pressure from either Lynx or Potato Savage as well. But we are going to be forcing our way towards the 3v1 as we're going to Static Blast and force the survivors away here. We've got good vision as Lynx is trying to come in, move for the double save here. We've only got a couple seconds though. We need to go fast. Oh my god, we play that so poorly. We completely wasted all that time. We wasted a reset. We wasted the double save.
Wow.
And that was just a very bad read from our survivors. Wasted all that time and took a hit for it. That is the absolute worst case scenario.
Yeah, no, like, when both people get shocked going for a double save, it's just GG, you know? And getting these tags on the board, Sloppy is going to be doing its job and forcing the reset to probably not even happen in the first place, because they need to get this gen done. Bravo's going to get Eruption on it. We just got a really strong pallet out of the way as well for free. Like, Bravo is very happy with this position. It's not the best position in the world, but given the circumstances, this is Bravo's in to getting a set win here for Flatline. Severance really needs to pick up their game here. Now that we're in the 3v1, we have Eruption, we have Pain Res on whoever we chase. It's honestly, it's one of those positions where it's definitely, it could go either way. There's no sort of there's no like clear who's going to be winning this right here, right now. So I'm really intrigued to see how this plays out.
Yeah, when you know that the win con is going to be you need to get 4 gens done, it does cause you to play a little bit differently. Actually, it causes you to play quite a lot differently if we're being realistic. And it doesn't really seem to be showing in the Survivor gameplay. It's just weird. We seem to be playing very heavily around really awkward sides of the map. Potato Savage hoping to finally turn this around and get a good chase here, because we desperately need it after that failed double save. That is going to be a little bit of a haunting if we're not able to get the 3rd generator done. Bravo still technically in the lead for this one. We probably see the gens being pushed in the background now, so most likely a tie will be occurring. But Potato Savage will be taking that first. Oh, wow, okay, that doesn't hit. Fuck, all right.
Damn, no, honestly, I was so convinced I was going to be a hit as well, because I'm just so used to seeing, like, at least a bit of ping difference between teams and stuff. But no, that is a well-earned and deserved pallet stun there for Potato Savage, and that's exactly what our survivors need right now. This is Oh, I'm on the edge of my seat here. I really, really am. Can't even commit to this chase either because we're going to be checking other gens. But because the resets happened, I feel like it should be pretty apparent that there's no progress anywhere else, right?
Yeah, well, that's my assumption. I think we were seeing either. I think that there was a double there. I wasn't actually sure. I only saw Link step away from Gen. But yeah, no, you're exactly right. We do have a crazy amount of pressure on that. Oh, I think that's 6 Gen there. But Bravo will be taking the first hit onto Xin. Xin, who is very, very close to that Gen as well, are going to be stepping away to try and buy some time for what I assume will be the double to finish. So Xin hopefully trying to win some 50-50s here. Is able to win one. Gets us off to a decent start. Oh, but then we walk into a rock and die. Not really the player we're going for there. Xin does take the down. Scourge Hook, still a possibility here, but I think we're going to see the gen get done before we see the Scourge Hook get popped.
Hick Tank is going to be enough to wiggle off, but no, they popped the gen anyways, so really, really good Severance that gets that done. We're now at the tie condition right now, so we can kind of ease up a little bit here, but I honestly thought that the pain res was going to come through before that gen got done, but they did manage to get it just in time. But hit tanks would have also been viable there to stop the hook from happening to allow that gen to get done, but either way, that's that third gen completed. That was so crucial to make this match at least a little bit more breathable here.
We do see the chase heading towards the bot side here, and we have a very awkward run from Xin. I'm actually not sure what I'm watching, but we're still not down here. I feel like we were right on top of that survivor, but we don't take the quick down, which is a bit of a surprise for me. Xin still does take the down in mid. This is going to be a very awkward spot to go down with the win con that we're looking to set. Both survivors nearby for the save there. Is able to convert it into a successful one from Link's. A strong save with a nice setup, actually, as this gen is sitting at about 40. So we are sitting on the Tycon runabout now. And it was very, very close to not being that last game. It was only a couple of seconds difference. So hopefully we're able to see that this game as well, as Bravo is just desperately trying to hold on to this tie.
Now, do we have this? Oh my god, we do have this Paladin Paladin as well. So Potato Savage is just finding all of the best setups on the map right now and just going to town with it. Really good piloting going to the left side instead of running straight through. He's going to be able to chain it back around, and just another shot's going to come through, but he still gets the drop. Oh my goodness, that is so unlucky for Bravo.
Yeah, so we are going to step away here, and oh, we will be stopping this reset. Oh my god, it was sitting at about 80%, and Xin got the cancel here, and this could be a detrimental find for our survivors, as Bravo is going to be heading in very, very strong for the chest. We could have taken the down there, but it doesn't matter because we will be getting the down just a couple seconds later, as Xin takes it down on about shallow 2 here. And we do a static blast because we've gotten quite a few pallet saves here, but we will be safe to pick this one up. Heading towards the mid-map. No Scourge Hooks from Xin has already been used. Only Scourge Hooks left are the 2 on Lynx and Potato Savage. So we still have quite a few resources for our killer and the survivors. A couple of healthy players still can play around, as Potato Savage is going to go for another chase. If he can juice up again, we're going to be in a really strong position to look towards the 4K one.
Oh, good pallets done there from Potato Savage. Going for the expectation that he's going to swing into it, which is very, very good that worked out. We're going to get Eruption on this gen. The unhook has happened onto Xin, and unfortunately Bravo just does have to pressure that to stop that reset from coming through. And thankfully Sloppy is going to help out a lot with that, but we're committing to the chase on Potato Savage. I don't actually remember where the hook was, but I think it's far enough away that they're going to get the reset in time anyway, so Bravo's instead just going to try and force people into tier 3. We do spot out Yonjin, that's Lynx over there, but no eyes on Xin just yet. And Xin is actually working the further gen. Oh, yeah. Wait, hang on, what gen is that? Am I tripping? Oh, it is the one by green. I thought so. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, so Bravo is going to find Xin here, and it's going to have to be forced to play this tile here. The pallet was already broken as well, so I think we make this window. Oh no, we don't.
Actually, I don't think we make that window based on my expert observation skill. I think Xin went down there, eh?
Okay, little bro, back it up.
Yeah, so we do see the down onto Zin there. Not really much to be done about that one. Really should have just left earlier, but was forced into a pretty awkward situation. Now we are down to Potato, Savage, and Lynx, and a lot of progress on this gen has now been put up in the air. We are down to a 2v1. It's not going to be easy to get this win. But it can be done because Potato Savage could already be back on that gen if he was stealthing correctly. All Lynx needs to do here is just run to the corner of the map, don't give an early hit, and we are in a really good situation. But Lynx is going to be playing around this 50. Oh, we are going to be stepping away. Lynx forced him into a very, very yucky situation. He did not want to be a part of it at all. But Lynx is just going to be going back to the pressure gen near 4. And we'll be getting that one done. All Potato needs to do is not instantly go down, which is effectively going to be impossible unless we jump in a locker. And this is absolutely fine. Potato needs to take the hit and go towards the edge of the map, and it does occur. That is going to be the 4K1 at the very worst. This is the win for our Survivor team.
Yeah, very well played by Severance here, and very well played by their killer as well. So it's, you know, it's 1-1. It's a pretty good spot going into Tiebreaker. Both our teams definitely feel to be at, I would say, similar strengths, even though I feel like their killer picks have obviously been very favorable in securing their set points. But this Doctor set has been honestly a lot closer than it may seem. It's really interesting how much variance there is in games like this because of how, I guess, restricted is what you could say with the Survivor builds, how methodical they have to be preemptively with what they've picked and who's running what exactly based off their budgets. And they do actually get the last gen done. Potato Savage popping it there and going back to this tile, which I swear we've seen Chase go to so many times this game already. And yeah, it'd be really nice to see Severance get an out here, but I'm not too sure if there's going to be... Oh no, there is a door over by Shaq. Yeah, this is going to be only a 3K as opposed to a 4K1. So regardless, set point to Severance. We are set up for a tiebreaker on the Ormand Lake Mine.
Yeah, I mean, that was a surprisingly slow rotation from Lynx there. I thought he already would have been at the gate, but Bravo is surprisingly gonna go check this. That was not something I expected. We do finally get it down onto Potato Savage. Most likely... Oh no, we will be seeing the 4K0 here. As, yeah, that was a really slow rotation from Lynx. Not sure what was going on there, but it doesn't matter because we got the win, which is forcing the tiebreak. As you said, we will be going to Unknown. Going to be seeing most likely full builds again. Something to note about the budget battle, especially for this set, is when you play around sets that are really close to each other. So we see Unknown and Lich in C tier and Doctor in D, which Unknown in C tier, that shocks me because that used to be an A tier, but I haven't been around comp for a while. I just might be coping. I just thought Unknown was better. But something to note as well is if you play around these sets that are real close to each other, you are going to have more fleshed out builds because you don't really need to force as much variance. So most likely we're going to be seeing full builds on the C tier, maybe missing 2 perks and for the Survivor side in total. So we're going to most likely see them at their peak from both sides. So it's going to be a close one, but I'm very excited to see how this one will end. Are Flatline able to convert this into a victory or a Severance going to continue pushing the advantage? We will be back with you in just a few minutes as we set up for set 3. Welcome back to the budget battle. We are down to our 3rd set, and this is only of the first series. So if you've missed a couple games, don't worry, we have plenty more coming, and and apparently more coughs too. But so we are on to our C tier. We're actually up to Unknown here. As I said before, I'm shocked that Unknown is in C tier. I just had a look at the balancing, and man, this guy sucks now, I guess. Been a couple of rough updates for the Unknown. But we are going to be seeing Bravo load in to our favorite snowy map here, Ormand Lake Mine. And our survivors hopefully going to be stealthing past as we are going to be trying to cross this choke point, heading down into the south side of the map. As we see Zin just gunning it across mid. I think we found Zin here. I think we found a couple of scratch marks, and we do find our first chase. Yes, this is going to be Zin. Oh,
nice.
first early hit.
Very, very nice. I honestly, I don't know what to expect going into this. Unknown really just feels like one of those killers where it's either going to go really well or really badly, and this is really good. Holy, that's the start you want to be seeing. Bravo getting that down onto Zin through the pallet, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that's like skitting out at the Unknown's like audio. It seems a bit off. I don't know how to explain it, but I could tell our producer was thinking the same thing as well. Oh, we get our first hook in the middle of the map here, as yeah, this is such a good vantage point to be able to see so much of the map. We can go for snipes onto gens, just like we saw. We have a little bit of progress to show for that first chase, but Bravo is in a beautiful position here for Team Flatline.
Yeah, this is the perfect start. Let's be completely honest. That could not have gone any better. We had an instant first hit with the power, the UBX. Then we had an instant damage with the UBX. Transfers into running into us. Then a down through a very strong pallet. And not go any better than that. If that's how I want my game to start, that is the perfect scenario. That's unbelievable. The only way that could have gone worse if there was another survivor there that also took it out. But a very strong start for Bravo here. Exactly what you want. Capitalize heavy on a survivor's mistakes, and you are pushing yourself into a great early game. And we find Zin again, who's now running around nothing, and just takes the down again. And this is just a really rough start from Zin. I want to say something nice, but I can't. This is just going so poorly for Zin. We need to get out of this 11 zone.
Yeah, and with these TP placements, Bravo is just so easily able to pressure Potato's Gen here as we push him back over towards the shack. We're going to go in and reapply the Eruption, and should be getting a very quick tunnel and onto Zin as well, forcing our TP into a very nice spot. The Gen's still regressing, so we can't actually kick it with Eruption. I made the exact same mistake, Bravo, don't worry. But yeah, no, really, really tough spot for Team Severance right now. It's going to be a tunnel up pretty early on. We see Potato Savage getting back on the Gen already, and Bravo, I think, is just going to full send it. I think we have a good enough TP to go back to Zin. The unhook has just happened, and we only have the TP by the I don't even know what kind of tower this is, but Bravo is 100% going to be going straight back for our tunnel out.
Yeah, and based on the chases that have been occurring this game, I really can't blame Bravo for that decision. We do make our way back towards 11 here, a little bit further away from the Gen than we'd like, from the hook, sorry, than we'd like. Zin hopefully able to make some distance here. We do see the reset occurring at edge map, and Bravo does not hear it. This is what the survivors need. The survivors need the tunnel out to stealth and get back in the game and just do some gens. And oh my god, that's just not good stealthing. That's not it.
Oh, but that
what's going on,
perfect. Bravo? Oh my goodness, getting zoned back into the map. Perfect for Lynx, but TPing back to the middle, trying to spot out Zin if we can. We saw, I believe, 2 people around this tower here. The 3rd gen is getting done. Bravo's really going to need up the pace here. We find Zin underneath, get the drop down tag, and could follow up with a power hit here as well. Oh, are we going to hit it?
Sorry, I just...
Nice.
Oh, Zin, wow. Yeah, I mean, that's a very rough game to watch for Zin. And it's surprising that it seems like we didn't really have much success from our tunnel out there, but also on top of that, the amount of pressure that the other 3 survivors have put on is actually quite impressive. We have 3 gens done here. We have we have nobody else injured, and we also have the pressure for the pallet save here. So we also have another 50% done as well, and there's a little bit done on this one here. So the survivors still putting pressure on the board, even though Zin is pretty much on death's door. We're still able to push for the win here, and both survivors playing around this quite aggressively, but I think this is absolutely fine if we're not giving free hits, which unfortunately we did in that scenario. But we are able to get Zin up here, does instantly take another UVX, and that seems to be the one-way track there.
I don't think it's... Nice, really good dodge by Zin there, though. Potato Savage is here. We're probably just going to be dying on the pallet here. Yeah, going for the death on the pallet. The eruption goes off. Potato Savage is here to allow this pallet save to happen. He demon picks, and it works out. Potato Savage is just too far away that we can't actually get this. Really well played by Bravo, but at what cost? 4 gens have been completed, and I don't think we have... If we have the main building gens still up, which I don't think we do, the gens are very split. So it is perfect that we're finding Ruthless Gem here, but it's still going to be very tough for Bravo to allow something to happen before the final gen gets done, which is already about 50% progress. Lynx has just been gen jockey this game, honestly, and you got to be grateful, man. Shout out all my gen jockeys in chat.
Yeah, it looks like we do have another gen.
I just want to preface Stasi is recovering from being sick right now, so that's the reason why you're hearing him coughing.
I'm not, as Monk said. Yeah, I'm not, as Monk said, ripping a bong every time I speak. Okay, thanks, Monk. Yeah, good one, buddy. Fuck, you're hilarious, buddy. Good one. You better watch out next time we fucking play ball in the clock tower. We do have another gen sitting on 25 in the background. Lynx taking a relatively quick hit there as well. Potato Savage actually having to step away. Damn it. Having to step away from that gen. Forcing Ruthless the unhook. But Bravo in a pretty decent position here to force a 4K1. The only issue is we don't really have a lot of hook states besides the ones that we've obviously gotten on Zin. So we're going to have to get Ruthless to play pretty poorly to get this free down. But we are chasing the one survivor that is healthy. I think we're going to see Potato Savage, yes, is just around the corner. Doesn't take the hit from the UVX there. Is going to be able to drag this out. We see the drop coming through, but we don't get it because we got a little bit stuck. I think Potato would have just made it anyway. But regardless, Potato being able to get all the way up the stairs and back towards the central part of the map where we're able to play around the one gen. So Potato able to escape almost a certain hit there and push ourselves towards a much safer location. And we go back inside where we find another pretty decent pallet as well, but we get hit through it.
Oh no, and we get stuck on the headlight as well. The floodlights of doom at the bottom of main building here. Should be able to get UVX here. We do. Potato Savage has to play this pallet upstairs on main. There's 2 that he can go to. He picks the better one, which is good, but the power is just going to be, yeah, a free hit there. Last gen does get done for it though, which is really good. We're not going to get that pain res out. We're forced into endgame, and Lynx is now Mr. President right now, or Mrs. President on the young gen. So yeah, very clear, cut and stone what needs to happen here. Everyone is injured. Bravo's got a hook fairly close to a door with a TP going down in between them both. As survivors only have the option to either split up and get a further gate done, or meet up and get a reset going and potentially let Potato Savage go to second stage. But no, they take the aggressive route. They get the unhook. They're going to be sending it back towards this tower to try and waste some more time. We still have that pallet down at the bottom ready for use here, but either it doesn't really matter who gets chased here between Ruthless and Potato Savage, so this down here is just fine. The door gets opened and we have our other 2 survivors getting out. Lynx being a fresh out, Potato Savage being a 1-stage out. We are once again getting a 7-stage 3 fresh result here. So very interesting. We're going to draw for the Mori as well because, man, I love this killer and he has such cool lore, such awesome animations. It's such a shame that he's just as harmless as he is. Beautiful Mori though, beautiful stuff. And so what, that makes the Wink on 8 stages for our killer of Team Severance?
Yeah, it's correct. We're going to see a 7-4 for the win or a 8 for the win. So this is really playable for both teams. I think 8 is kind of one of the perfect win cons that you want to see as a viewer, right? 8's probably the most ideal, 8 to 9. Definitely room for both teams to play around that. But we are going to be heading into what should most likely be the last set of this series. So we'll be back with you in just a few minutes.
All right, legends, welcome back to what will be the determining, deciding game for this matchup between Flatline and Severance, as we have a 7-stage 4-fresh or an 8-stage anyways win con for our killer here for team uh Severance. Yes, because it's the second half. I'm really excited though, man. This is a really tense spot for both teams. The pressure at an all-time high, as you can imagine, and Potato Savage is at the reins for our team here. For Jesus, I can't even remember. Like, I'm looking at the matchup on my other monitor. Like, this is Severance, bro. Potato Savage is bringing the guns, the big guns here to wrap this out.
We'll be starting our game towards the 8th side of the map, searching for our first chase. We're hoping that someone's already crossed here, but I don't think we're going to be finding anyone in this 8 tile. Potato Savage trying to do a pretty aggressive check here, but seems like every survivor is kind of where they want to be here. We've already forced good positioning. Severance in quite a strong start already. But sorry, I actually meant Flatline. I had quite a strong start already. Potato Savage didn't get instant chase, but does find 2 survivors, so we're able to catch 2 people out here. So we are going to be slowing this aggressive start down, and all it takes is one quick chase for this to end. Max running straight through the pallet and is able to get some good distance. Dodges the UVX as well, and this is night and day compared to the first chase from Zin last game. At this point, I think we already would have seen the down, but Potato Savage not quite able to get the down on Saki just yet. He does get the first hit though, so we are going to take this towards Shaq and force hopefully a very long chase here. Saki does take the first UVX, however drops Shaq pallet, so hopefully we're able to get some good value out of that, as we are very close to getting rid of this UVX. Oh, we get shit on though.
What a nice shot that was. Well played, as they say. We should be stopping the first gen as well with this pain res, so Bravo going to have to dedicate a bit more time to getting that one done. But no, it's still decent spot to start off. The chase obviously wasn't as fast as the last game, but we do have Ruin in play, and we are forcing people off of the most progressed gen, so we are going to be just passively getting that regression coming through, and Bravo is going to have to play out this tile here. I believe this is a Red Forest tile, if I'm not mistaken, with the locker placement. Hello, that's the pallet drop coming through. Bravo has to keep wrapping around. Savage actually going to try and zone him further back and not allow that UVX to come off just yet. Trying to get that power hit, but I'm not too sure. Where's Bravo at the back there? Wait. Oh, I thought he was trying to do the thing for a sec, but really nice dodge. That is insane. And oh my goodness, winning a crazy mind game at the pallet inside main here. UVX is gone, and oh, the Linger manages to get that UVX back on. The first gen is done. The second gen is still regressing to Ruin, and the third gen also regressing a lot as well, as Burrito has now taken on a different gen, but we do have the reset onto Saki out of the way, so regardless, our survivors are still in a much better position here.
Saki taking the first UVX of this chase will be forcing us into an early pretty shit position, because this is really not a strong pallet that we want to be playing around. Unfortunately, we've got we've got nothing else to play around in the scenario, but it's okay because we get the early stun off. We do continue to play around this, but we're not giving any free hits. I was assuming we might see a quick M1 come through, but no, we get a nice UVX power here and a quick vault coming in from Potato Savage, forcing Saki away from a very decent window. We will be seeing the down anyway, because we weren't going to get to the pallet towards upper 6, but Saki taking the down towards the corner. We do see Potato Savage picking up towards the edge of the map and taking towards shallow 6 foot. So we will be seeing no, we won't be seeing a scourge there, because we've already seen it occur on Saki, trying to force a free UVX onto someone doing a gen, but we actually miss, and that would have been a huge UVX as well, because I don't know whether Bravo moved away from that gen, but they still had the UVX on them and got the gen done for it. So that's pretty much the kind of the beast knees of what could happen there. But Potato getting outplayed by Bravo again on this pallet. Flatline might be walking away towards the win.
Yeah, we still have the God Palette inside main to muck around with, though, as we do have to drop the chase, go back for the tunnel out onto Saki, which really sucks, because getting a pain res on Bravo there would have been really, really nice, but just for the tempo of the game right now. But yeah, no, we're going to be having Burrito here helping out, giving Saki a tag, but it's not going to really do anything. Saki is still kind of trapped at the shack here. We just have to see where they've positioned. And that 4th gen does get completed in the background. So the pressure is building up. We need this tunnel out now. And we need to be able to hold some kind of gen setup. They're so split, though. This is really going to be tough.
We do see a reset occurring in the... reset. Not even a word. We do see a reset occurring in the background as we take Saki towards this central hook. Saki is now out of the trial. We are forced into the 3v1. Bravo hit with UVX. Everyone else is effectively reset. That was a really fast reset coming there from Max. I actually thought it was just the one person resetting. I thought, fuck me, that's good for C tier. But no, that was a double. And a nice dodge there from Max as well. Does get us a little bit further away. We do have to play 50s here. The question is, are we going to be able to get this win? No, we're not, but at the very least, we take it as we're going over the pallet, so we are able to escape. But then we get completely destroyed by a good clone placement there, so good read by Potato. Pretty much got a free down there because of good placement. We do see Bravo working on a gen in the background, so we are starting to push towards the end. This is still playable for both sides. Quite a ways to go for Potato Savage to win this one. That was our 4th hook, 2nd fresh. Jesus, that was a really fast reset. Our 4th hook, 2nd fresh. We are looking for about 4 more.
No, Potato Savage is playing this really, really well, though. Getting that tunnel out and forcing this 3v1 and is just playing the 3v1 situation really, really well. We know there's a pallet down here, but this should have been a free tag, but we can't aim any lower than that because for some reason the camera locks are so restrictive in this game. Burrito's just going to take the tag to go inside main. The exact same TP is there, and the pallet is already gone, so we have to go upstairs. We still have this pallet, though, but it's just a death sentence if we stay here. We just have to play these pallets, hope that Potato Savage whiffs the UVX. Gets the pallets done, though. That's big. Is it enough to get the UVX off, though?
Yeah, I think that was a pretty reasonable play by Burrito there. Was able to try and get down to avoid the free UVX. I almost said it again. But I did not get away there. So Burrito takes the down. However, this is hook number 5. It is unbelievably close. If Burrito dies here on hook, that is going to be 7 stage 3 fresh. The survivors really don't have a lot of room to play with. We are on death's door as Bravo is going to be moving in for this last gen. And the fact that we don't get it done as well, I was actually pretty confident we were going to get that gen done. The fact that it's not, I'm pretty confident that we are going to see the win here from Potato Savage.
Ooh.
And I thought it was going to be close, but maybe not, as Bravo does get the dodge.
Yeah, but as soon as Bravo goes down here, Potato Savage meets the win con by getting the down here and just forcing the eliminations. It'll be the 4 fresh hooks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it'll be 7 stage 4 fresh if Bravo goes down here. So our survivors not only need to get that last gen done, but they need to get a door open for Bravo. And I know the last gen was really close over by the shack, and Bravo's taking the chase over to main, but... Oh, we got stuck on the wall! Oh, no! Oh, that's so bad. That is really, really bad. Is it enough to get the last gen done, though? It's not. Even though they're doubling it, it's going to get hit by Pain Res. And Potato Savage has a TP close enough so that he can TP over there and stop it from getting done. Oh my goodness. I think this has just won the game for Severance here.
That's not what you want to see from Bravo there. It's funny, I was just about to say, he's been playing consistently pretty well this game. He's had some great chases. I don't think it mattered. He would have been down there anyway. The down might have happened half a second later at the most, even if he didn't run into the wall. So a very, very minor error, honestly, means nothing in the grand scheme of things. And with how close the win con is, I think we've done a pretty good job of survivors as trying to just hang on. As we've seen Pain Res after Pain Res hit that shack gen and just continue to push us in the wrong direction. But Max going to be playing around this relatively mid filler in main. forces us towards the one side of the map. But we are going to be leaving Max here and actually forcing the Shack Gen to get regressed again with Ruin. We have used Scourge Hook, we have used Ruin on this. We have just been constantly pressing this gen down, and it is the right thing to do, especially with the win con in your sights. This is hook number 7 that's about to come through. This is our 4th fresh. Unless we see a save, this hook is the win con.
That's right. That's going to be Severance taking the victory here over Flatline. After a very shaky start in the first set on the Lich, it looked like Flatline was really coming out guns a-blazing, but Severance has played really, really well tonight and managed to bring it back with the back-to-back set wins to make it a 2-1 victory for Team Severance. Very, very well played, and honestly, Potato Savage has done a really good job on the Unknown here to secure that win, so I know that Severance is going to be really happy with that. But we do still have another matchup tonight as we play out the last parts of this game here. We're still going to be seeing Crayons versus Nethira with very similar sets. We'll talk about it a bit more later. We'll let Potato Savage finish up here as we try to hit some orbitals on Bravo over at this long wall here. Oh, I swear we could have smacked Bravo through that, right? Oh, oi.
Don't think we're gonna be seeing it happen, bro. Bravo does take the M1, and I think we've just kind of given enough at this point. We are just going for 1v1s here effectively. Potato Savage isn't really having any of it though. Decides to actually leave Bravo, looking towards the end of the game as Max is going to be taking the first UVX there. Burrito will be trying to take a decent chase at 8 here. Does get a medium vault here. Doesn't really matter though, as we're able to secure the other side and hit a UVX as well. Another UVX going through. Doesn't actually hit us. I think we're going to be forcing this vault soon. We are. And Burrito will be trying to make it all the way around. Even if we take the UVX here, that's fine. As we drop the pallet and move towards the deeper side of 8. Might be seeing it down here from the second UVX, but Burrito actually doing a pretty decent chase here. Unfortunately, these long chases needed to come a little bit earlier as we just take the down on hill and possibly see the gen done in the background. I think we are going to be seeing this Shack gen get done.
Yeah, I think so too, and it's very interesting to see how this game is played out. I'm really, really impressed with both teams, man. Honestly, like everyone has had their ups and downs with this set, but we've had a good set of matches here with these 3 sets, and I'm very excited to see what we have in store next on Crayon versus Nethira, as we'll just take the down at Shack, and I don't think we're gonna have time to get the door open, so this could just be 4K0 for Potato Savage here. Honestly, this looked like it was going to be out as well, but I think, you know, morale at that point in the game, it doesn't really matter, but, you know, it's nice to see that, you know, even though the win con has already been met, teams are still, you know, playing for best result, which is what you would expect to see in... Cheeky rotate, does it pay off? Nah, Max Cheeky, unlucky.
Potato Savage looking for the last 2 goals of the game here. Is able to find it on Max. We do see the UVX regression, but we're going to be seeing this down occur
nice.
very, very soon. Trying to screen them away from Shack. I don't think we're really going to be able to do that as Max does get the escape.